Where did music first enter your life?
Oh man, that's years ago back when the Beatles came out. I mean, we would, take radios and hook microphones up to them and, try to sing to the Beatles songs and all that kind of stuff, and then Led Zeppelin, I mean, it's just, the Black Sabbath. I mean, I got stories about listening to Black Sabbath music that are just insane, you know. But yeah, that's basically, it just started out like with everybody else, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones.
What kind of environment did you grow up in?
Small town back in Nebraska, 2,800 people.
What was that like?
That was crazy, man. I mean, it was the best way to grow up, though. I mean, it was like everybody knew everybody, and it was safe.
Who were your earliest musical influences?
Led Zeppelin was a big influence. Okay, Bad Company, uh, Queen, Pink Floyd, uh, and the Stones. Some of the Stones. I mean, the Stones. After the '80s, I mean, it's like when '80s hit. Their old stuff was relevant. You know what I'm saying? The new stuff wasn't that relevant as far as I was concerned. Okay, but uh, but they've got their place. I mean, like Symphony from the Devil. Gee, that's a good song, man.
Do you remember the moment you realized music meant something deeper to you?
It's always meant something deeper to me, But I mean, not as deep as what I'm doing now. I mean, it was just an important part of my life, but I mean, now it is my life. You
What was your first instrument and how did you learn it?
This is my voice.
Tell us about that. When did you realize that your voice was a instrument?
Uh, God, probably probably when I was on this island where it was you had to bring your own electricity, everything, your own water, everything. And these guys from Germany heard me sing, and it's like they were amazed and they just said, wanted to know if I'd come to Dusseldorf and record an album in their studio, you know. And I didn't do it. It was a year of the World Cup, and I could have, but I just didn't. It was just too much drama, too much hectic stuff going on. And so they finally came to the Philippines, and they heard me sing. One time they said, "You got to promise us if you don't come to our studio to record your album, you got to promise us that you're going to get serious about this because you're really that good." You know, and the world needs to hear you.
Where did the name SnakeJack come from?
So that's a long story, but it mostly uh, came from I like snakes. I mean, I'm really fascinated by deadly snakes. Okay, I've got a tattoo of a snake on my right shoulder, and I had a alias by the name of Jack at one time. Okay, and so put the two together. I used to play pool in bars, right? You have to put your name on the board, to get in line to queue up to play pool. I would always be SJ, and so people just started calling me Snake Jack, and it just stuck.
What did SnakeJack represent when it first started?
Well, I mean, it's just rock and roll, man. It's like, I mean, if you listen to our music, it's rock and roll. It's a genre of classic rock, okay, with a contemporary twist. Okay, it's different than anything else out there, and that's what everybody calls me now. I mean, it's the name of the music, okay, but everybody calls me Snake Jack. I mean, nobody calls me by my right name, my real name anymore. It kind of happened accidentally, basically. I mean, my ex girlfriend married my best friend at the time, and he had some stuff that he wanted me to hear. He was a musician, and so I went to his place and I listened to it, and I said, "Why don't you give me a pen and a paper? I want to write some stuff down." And at that point in time, I realized, that I could do something here, and then it kind of started from there. And then I went to the Philippines, and then the guys from Germany, made the same comment. But we recorded a couple songs before I went back over to the Philippines, and And the guy that that had the music, he was blown away. He said, "Wow," he said, "Man," he said, "you got to promise me." He said, "We can get that song recorded before you leave," and so we did. But the very first song I wrote, is called "The Rack." And the story is about a kid that goes to school for his first time, and he's sitting in class and he sees his teacher's big tits in front of him. It's called "The Rack." And it's a campy little song. But after that, it just kept growing and growing. And I mean, every album has just got more insane. But my producer told me the other day, he said, "Hey," he said, "you know what?" He says, if somebody wants to have the SnakeJack experience, what they need to do is they need to put the headphones on, not be bothered, for a half hour, whatever, and listen to each album all the way through, without interruption. And then you have the SnakeJack experience because there's stories in all these songs. I don't write fluff.
How does a song usually start for you?
Well, what happens is a lot of times the music comes to me in a dream. Okay. And it could be just the music, or it could be, uh, you know, the lyrics too. Okay. But it comes to me in a dream, but I have to make sure that I don't keep listening to it, you know, until it's finished, because if I do that, I'll lose it. I have to wake up right then and I got to go and get something recorded, some kind of a sketch, and then I go back to that and I listen to it and realize what I want to say, what I want to do, in the song. And it just, I mean, and I've had dreams with Robert Plant in them and Paul McCartney in them. And, I mean, it's like, they're wild ass dreams. Okay. But it's like the music comes from that a lot of times, and then I just elaborate on that, try to figure out exactly the story that I want to tell and how I want to approach it. Okay. And then, it just, for some reason, it just comes to me how it should sound.
Where do you pull inspiration from?
Inspiration is a fleeting thing. Okay. It doesn't happen all the time, but like the other day, okay, I was waiting to get picked up, okay, and there was a cactus there. Now I could have got mad and just, God dang it, da da da, just threw a tantrum because there was a miscommunication with the people who were picking me up, okay, and so I had time to wait, okay, and there was this cactus, okay, and I just went and put my hand around it like this and felt until the pain, started. I mean, the majesty of that thing, how powerful that it was, and I wrote 5 songs that day. Okay, the inspiration hit right then. Okay, so I wrote that song, and that is called "Let's Celebrate Life." Okay, and then I wrote 5 other songs that we haven't even got to yet.
So you would say that real life does play a big role in your music?
Well, my life plays a big role. I mean, a lot of my music is based on experiences that I've had. When I've been performing and otherwise. But I mean, the stories are. There's no way I could tell the stories. I mean, in a public forum, man.
How much of the music reflects real experiences?
A lot. Okay. I mean, it's like I write stories about relationships, about experiences, about life, and a lot of times of education for this planet. I want people to understand reality, the way that I understand it. I mean, they don't have to believe it, but they need to understand it the way I understand it, and they can make their own judgment.
What does independence mean to you as an artist?
Everything. I mean, I wouldn't sign with a major label because a major label wants to dictate the art. They want to, try to tell you when you can have an album or how long it's going to, And I said, nah. I said that's not going to happen. I said, if I sign with you, I said the only way it's going to work is I do what I want. I make complete artistic control. And when I have an album, you'll have it. That's it. But and I said no, because what they want to do is they want to take 2 good songs, okay, and then put that on an album with the rest fluff, right? And I'm not going to cheat my fans, man. I'm not going to cheat my fans. My fans, deserve to have every song that I record as a quality song, that I can be proud of and they can be proud. I want people all over the planet to listen to this music. I want them to put on the headphones. I want them to listen to each album individually all the way through, to get the SnakeJack experience. You're not going to believe it. I mean, I don't know if you've ever done it, but I mean, if you do that, if you listen to an album all the way through, it's like at the end, you just kind of like, yeah, okay.
If someone watches this years from now, what do you want them to understand about you?
I want them to understand that I was doing my part to give them the information that they needed to make their own judgments. Because here's the deal, okay? Here's the deal. There's too much noise in this world, okay? And every human has the innate ability to dig in to their intuition and just think for themselves, okay? And the answers are there. They're in everybody, okay? But when you listen to all the propaganda and all the stuff coming from the outside through the social media and TV and every place else, all you're doing is you're a sheep. You're following the masses, And I don't do that, I want people to really understand the power of thinking for yourself, because when you do, if you think for yourself, okay, don't try to say, hey, well, I'm never going to get the answer if I do that. I got to listen to stuff. I got to listen to all this. No, you don't, because everybody has that power. If they think for themselves, their answer will come to them.
What does success actually mean to you today?
What success to me is not monetary. Success to me is when every living child, everybody from 10 to 80, has listened to SnakeJack music.